In this video, we'll go over how to collect your data from the TGA and the closeout procedures you need to do before you leave. To collect your data from the TGA, you'll need to first go to the Trio software. In the Trio software, you will then go to the result page. Look on the left-hand side for your file name. Right-click on it to produce a drop-down menu. Save your file as a .ua format. From the desktop, you'll click on TA Universal Analysis in order to open up the software to analyze your TGA data. Once the software is open, you'll go to the upper left-hand corner and press File. Then you will press Open. If you followed the suggested file path in the programming software to save your file, that is also where your .ua file should be. If you have saved it somewhere else, please go there to open up your .ua file. Once you've chosen your file and opened it, this window will pop up. There are many things you can do at this window. The first thing that you can do is change any relevant information that you would like about your sample. If you look in the parameters window, you can see what you can change at this stage, such as your sample name or your operator name, or any comments you would like. If you click on the signals button, a new window will pop up. In this window is where you would choose your X and your Y axis. You have the option of 4 Y but only 1 X. For your Y, if you click on the signals menu, there will be a drop-down of various options that you can choose for your Y. You have to have a minimum of 1 Y, but you only get a maximum of 4 Y. It's totally up to you how many Ys you want on your graph. And then if you click on the Type drop-down menu, you can choose how you would like your signal to be displayed. Once you've set up your Y, you can now set up your X. There are only a few options for your X. You can either choose time in minutes, temperature in Celsius, or a signal and its type the way we have for the Y. Once you are happy with your selections of your X and your Y, you will then click the OK button. Another area you can edit is the units. If you click on the units button, another window will pop up. In this units window, you can choose your preferred units for each of the following. It is completely up to your preference. Once you have chosen everything that you would like, you will then click on the OK button. Once you've made all the edits that you would like, you will then click the OK button in order to open up your file. Here is an example of a TGA data graph. Yours will look different depending on your method and your sample. There are many things you can do to your graph using this analysis software. You can play around with it or click the Help button to get exactly what you would like. A common thing people would like to get though is the value of the peak. To do this, you'll click on either Signal Maximum or Peak Maximum. This will produce a red line on your left and your right hand side of your graph. If you look at your left hand side, it is a red line, and your right hand side is a red plus sign. You'll need to narrow down the range in order to get the peak value that you would like. You'll click on the left hand red line and drag it to the left hand side of the peak dome that you would like, and then you'll click on the red plus sign on the right and drag it to the right hand side of the peak dome that you would like. Once you have your peak sandwiched between the red lines, you'll click Enter on your keyboard. You will then see your value displayed next to your peak. If you click on that value, you can move it to a different location on your graph. If you right click on this value, there are editing options. Once you're happy with editing your data however you would like, the next option is to export your data. You will click on the button in the upper left hand corner called File, and then you'll click Export Data File, and then File and Plot Signals. The Export Data File window will pop up. You can choose which signals you would like to export. Make sure you have it checked for those that you want to export, and those unchecked for those you do not want to export. Then we will go to Output Format. There are 3 output formats you can choose from: binary, ASCII, and a spreadsheet text file. The spreadsheet text file is similar to an Excel file. Once you're done making your selections, you will then click the Finish button. The Save As window will open up. You can either change your file name or keep it, but make sure to check that the extension is the correct one depending on the output that you chose, and then you will save it. Then you are done with the analysis software and you can close out of it. You'll need to manually throw away your samples. In the lab, you'll see that there is an SAA area near the TGA with a small bucket. This bucket is where you can throw away your sample pans. Remember, not your sample bale, just the sample pan. You'll take this bucket and put it on the bench top to the left of the TGA. Once the bucket is sitting on the bench top, you will then press on the red tab and turn the lid in order to open it. Then place the lid on the bench top. Now we will use a touchscreen. Press Auto Sampler, load and unload. Make sure it's the number that your pan samples are in, the ones that are done running now. Then press front. Your samples will move to the front. Remember, it'll spin twice because it is slow, so do not try and pick up your pans before the auto sampler has completely stopped moving. Then you will pick up your sample and move it off of the auto sampler. And then you will drop the pan into the bucket as such and put the bale back. Put the lid back on the bucket and close it, but not too tightly, and then put it back into the SAA area. Now you are done with the cleanup part. Please remember to fill out the logbook. It is located on top of the TGA above the touchscreen. The TGA computer is connected to the internet. You may upload your data to a cloud or email it to yourself. You can also just use a USB if you'd like. Please remember to clean up any mess that you have made and take anything that you have brought with you. If you run into any issues or have any questions, please contact the staff member.